Hello and welcome to Customer Experience Leaders Chat by Nicereply, where we talk to support professionals from all over the world and discuss what's behind their team's success. This interview is brought to you by Nicereply, an all-in-one customer satisfaction tool that helps you measure and improve the quality of your customer service. My name is Craig Stoss, and I am here today with Sukhpreet Anand, the VP of Operations at Unifyed. Thank you so much for joining us, Sukhpreet.
Thank you, Craig.
Sukhpreet, Unifyed has a very unique setup for their success organization, and I thought we could talk about that today. Maybe start by just describing what that setup is for our listeners.
Yeah, sure. So recently, we divided our customer success team into two teams altogether so that they can focus more on their areas. So at Unified, just to give you a brief, we deal with the US universities as our clients. They use Unified products like Portal and mobile app for student success. So customer relationship is a must-have for every organization, and especially when you're dealing with CIOs at university, you need to make sure that you have a connect. On the same note, to achieve it, now we have two teams that work together for customer relationship. So one, we have relationship management, which focus on bringing the money home, who works on renewals, recurring payments, upsell. And the other team, which is working side by side with them, is account managers who focus more on operations house, like keeping an eye on support tickets, checking on the SLAs for the top accounts or tier one accounts, keeping a track on the projects which are going on for product implementation. And they also work together with product team on the enhancements raised by all these clients.
This is a really unique approach to take a role that in most companies is probably one person and split it into two distinct functions under the banner of customer success. Were there any issues or gaps that you identified that led you down this path? Is there anything that our listeners potentially could hear and say, oh, I'm experiencing that and this might be the right solution for me?
Yeah, right. So Craig, our team was earlier working on all of this, whatever I mentioned, by themselves, day in and day out. But they were missing on getting on the escalations. They were not able to devote time on how support or implementation has been delivered to the clients. So they were just, what we saw is they were just talking to the clients for renewals whenever this is due, or whenever, because we close our renewals 1 year prior to their date. So they were just talking to the clients whenever their renewal is due or whenever their payments are due. And they were missing on the goal for customer happiness. And I'm sure you agree, customer happiness that comes with their entire journey with us, which eventually comes from support conversations or implementation projects or the usage of the product. Because one support conversation going in a negative direction can make a lot of impact on your customer journey. Maybe you have a green school, which you think is a very happy client, and they could deny you for giving you as a reference to the other university. And this was one of the case that we figured out, that we have the school counted as a green. When our team approached them to be a reference for Unified, they denied because of one of the support escalations that they had 6 months back. So when we saw all these issues over there, it was pretty much clear that customers are okay with the product, but they're not happy with us. So we were big time missing customer happiness. And with this, the same thing that we identified at a later stages, nobody is keeping a track on the projects. Let's say if my project manager, they are in touch with the client to have some details, and if client has not replied to it, they just forget about it. And nobody else is there to keep an eye just to make sure that everything is going as per the timelines defined. So these were some of the major, I would say, challenges that we were facing. So that's why, we came up with this decision that let's try this out and let's divide the team into two parts, wherein one can actually focus on renewals and recurring, and one can focus on the support or the projects or the other things. I mean, not that support team or implementation team do not follow it, but having multiple eyes on focusing on customer happiness that make things better.
So with these two different teams, they're focused on different areas. They must have responsibilities and key focus areas. So what do these teams get goaled on and measured on as far as the visibility of their success?
Yeah, so if we talk about key responsibilities, I'll be very honest with you, Craig. I like for one quarter we were just, I mean, we were struggling with having a team know what exactly they have to do, and everyone was in confusion. Oh, now I am a relationship manager, so what do you expect from me? Now I'm an account manager, what do you expect from me? Because they were doing the same thing over and over again, and sometimes you have to really get into the thing, make it in the written format, break it down proper KRA's format, which is key responsibility areas, so that team get to know what their focus should be. So that's a very, I mean, a straightforward but a very important question. So what we did is we worked together and build upon their KRAs to define their focus. Having said that, account managers, their goal is happy clients and the relationship building. That's what their goal is from operation standpoint. For relationship manager, the goal is revenue, because no organization can run without bringing revenue. So this is how we divided. If I talk about quickly on their KRA's front, so account manager team, they are overseeing support and the SLAs. They are overseeing projects and the SLAs. Their focus is on client engagement. So when we say that, so at Unified, we do monthly virtual user group wherein we talk about the new functionalities that we have in the product. We bring in our clients from different universities to talk about our product. So account managers, they have to make sure that they are engaging with our clients. They are making sure that our clients are attending our virtual user group on monthly basis. And during this COVID situation, universities, nobody is working from the campus, so they all are working remotely. So majority of our clients, they are using Microsoft Teams. So one of their main focus is to connect every client via Teams so that they can share updates, they can have their weekly scheduled calls with them. Whatever is their project going on, they can have a discussion. So it makes life simple, right? If I am just chatting with you using either of the two, let it be Slack, let it be MS Teams, it makes life easier for communication. So that's what their focus is. And the other focus of them is to maintain this red, amber, green tracker so that we can have a discussion on how to turn red clients into amber, into green. That's what. And then they work on the escalations. So versus relationship management, they are more focused on renewals, getting the paperwork, making sure the payments are there, no aging for payment should be there, working on recurring. They are responsible for growing the business in terms of bringing more and more money. So this is how, they are focused on. And for the account management, I already discussed. So relationship managers, they work closely with the sales team. If I just want to summarize all these things. And account managers, they work closely with support, implementation, and product team. So that's how we divided them.
So even though both these teams live under customer success, they clearly have different responsibilities and different tasks that they do day to day. What are the key hiring profiles that you look for when you're bringing in new hires?
So the people who have the mixed skill set of sales, who can handle upsell, who can pitch new product to the client, who can talk about the renewals, those are being tagged as a relationship managers. And that's what we look forward if we're going to hire more relationship managers as we grow. And anyone having good skill set on relationship building with clients, auditing internal support tickets or projects, who understand client needs or happiness and understand SLAs. So all those things would be tagged under account managers.
Now that you've built this team out and you have the different profiles and they're working towards separate goals, what do you see as the overall benefits of this type of program?
Uh, See, the most advantage that clients would get, they get extra care, and who does not love it?
Yeah.
You just care about them. You just give extra love, and they were like, oh wow, I want to stay with this. So I give you one real example that happened with me. I was in touch with one of the sales rep who was working as account manager for me for one of the customer success tool. Now, whenever I reply to him, he just gets back to me within, you know, not more. He does not take even more than 15 minutes. He just reply. And whenever I say, oh, we want to get on a call, he was like, okay, I'm calling you in next 30 minutes or 1 hour. So this is a kind of, extra attention that you love being a client. And that's what we figured out when we have divided these teams into two parts, and then we realized where our metrics were and where they are now, because it's almost like 6 months that we took this decision. So if I talk about the benefits from the customer standpoint, they get immediate attention whenever they flag anything, because account managers, they just pick their item and then start following up with them. And when your clients are happy throughout their journey, your renewals, your upsell, your money, that comes automatically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, right. And the relationship managers, they go on site, they have their own relations with the client. So, they can talk on renewals and payment. And if client is facing an issue with the product, or they are not agreeing on releasing any payments, relationship managers, they just work together with the account managers. And that's how the two sides of the coin work together. And that's where we saw the improvements. Some of the processes got improved if I talk about the benefits that we got internally. So our project escalation template is there now. They have a proper process. They have steps to solve it. Then we have process between support and product, because account management team, they work together with support and product. So they just highlight all the missing components which are not there in the product, and they prioritize them as per the top accounts. So if I talk about metrics, our client retention, which is a main KRA for account management team, and now it is 96.5%. And our target is to achieve at least 98. Of course, everyone wants to be 100%, but in a SaaS product, having client retention as 100% would be much more. So, our expectation should be realistic. So that's why I am myself keeping it as 98% to be the target. If I talk about project timelines, they are much better now. Our project CSAT, the customer satisfaction score on the project, it just went up to 95%. And same goes for the product priorities also, because now we prioritize the entire roadmap for the new releases, considering what is the request coming in from the top accounts or these tier one accounts. So that's how it is helping our customers as well as our teams to manage and to keep everything on the radar.
Yeah, that's great success, and it shows that really focusing on the two different parts, hiring those two different skill sets, because it is two different skill sets to build a relationship or to work on a technical.
Right.
Those are distinct skill sets. Given that success, what is the future or the next evolution of this team for you?
I look upon this team because, as I mentioned, it's just been 6 months that we started with it. But I would just look this team as would be the greatest and the strongest team for Unified. So what we did is we actually clubbed account managers along with support and implementation and named it as customer success team, where all these three teams are working together. And Our relationship management, they are working with sales so that we can bring in the numbers and we can grow our business. So the future of the team holds like this particular team as customer success, which has account managers having support and implementation working together. They would lead to business decisions for product or processes or bringing in automation. And for the relationship managers, because they are being clubbed together with the sales team, we are assuming that they're gonna bring money home and they're gonna help us in growing the business for us.
I mean, it sounds like you've already had a great success in your hands. I do hope your business grows with this model, and thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Craig.
And thank you all for listening to Customer Experience Leaders Chat by Nicereply with today's guest, Sukhpreet Anand from Unifyed. Make sure to check out our other support interviews and more quality content at nicereply.com.